Hello, friends, family, pets, and grandparents. We are back with the Nexus Gaming Series. This is a heroic division matchup. I am joined by the delicious Dunkstick, and on the left-hand side, we're going to be having X-Force, and on the right in red, we will be having Pridestark Gaming. But first, Dunkstick, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good, bud. Thanks for having me. It's going to be a tasty night. We got a tasty treat for you. The blue team versus the red team. I can't remember their names. I just blanked.
X-Force in the blue, and we'll have Pridestark in the red.
X-Force and Pridestark. That's a great name. I love that name. I really hope it's a play on Deadpool, where he calls himself the X-Force.
That would be really good. That if he's just like, yeah, like I am an entire just screw the X-Men. I'll just be the X-Force. But
it's a gender neutral name.
We'll go ahead and really quickly catch everyone up through what the map bans were. The coin flip was won by Pridestark. They went ahead and chose map pick. They banned out Towers of Doom. Tomb of the Spider Queen was banned out by X-Force. Infernal Shrines is going to be map number 2, chosen by X-Force. And game number 1 is Dragonshire, chosen by Pridestark Gaming. We get into this as the Maiev is being banned out Dunk here. And overall, on Dragonshire, what do you really look for when you're drafting, or maybe even when you're banning?
So, Dragonshire is all about point control and rotations. There are a few heroes that really excel when the teams are rotating. Azmodan is definitely one of them in the current meta.
Mm-hmm.
Him getting his high stack count very early is very dirty. He starts pumping out damage when a high amount of damage when most players still have low HP pools, and it can snowball the game really well. Heroes that excel in zone control: Diablo, Garrosh. Those two tanks right there. I would not be surprised to see Garrosh follow here. Those types of heroes are very good at controlling the point, standing on it for that extra little bit of seconds, trying to get you that cap, as well as fighting on it. Uriel, exactly, in the top lane, great ban coming out of Pridestark. These are the type of bans you want to see. You want to take away some of these point controls, if that's not your style of play, and maybe look for some range poke. Chromie's been very popular on this map lately. Raynor.
Ooh. We get the first pickup with the Dahaka, though, and to be honest, this is a Dragonshire especially where, I feel like Dahaka's this is the only map where you get a first pick priority for this hero. Maybe Sky Temple, but even then, it's really fallen off.
It'd be Warhead Junction if we ever saw that map being competitive.
True, but I mean, I don't know if everyone collectively hates Warhead more than Hanamura at this point.
And there's a really good hero as well, Johanna, kind of the queen of staying on the point. Her passive, the trait value of her shield with the Unstoppable is very crucial for preventing heroes from picking her off while on the point. And then Genji just being this excellent source of poke as well as burst follow-up. So just a really good overall pick for the team.
The dive and the mobility from Genji, I agree, is just way too much, and it's really annoying. But they're going to go ahead and pick up the Deckard Cain with the ETC, so a lot of great slow coming out from Deckard Cain, a lot of great setup. I personally think that Deckard Cain is one of the strongest rotational heroes in the game because he has great poke between his two abilities, as well as being able to just drop potions in between rotations, so you don't always need to be healing. It's just like, all right, I've dropped potions in the rotation, we'll get a little damage in this lane, rotate through, our little wooded area, pick up some potions, and then just lane right back into bottom. So overall, the draft coming out from both these teams really strong. But Tassadar are going to be banned out. That's a bit of an odd ban, don't you think?
Yeah, maybe Pridestark knows something we don't know. Tassadar has really good solo capabilities and works really well with a lot of high mobile auto attack heroes, and maybe that's what they're afraid of. Kind of surprising, seeing as they already do have Johanna, who fares pretty well in that situation, and they did already go double tank, which usually leads me to believe a little bit of more of a burst type hero pool. We're seeing maybe like a Jaina with a Zeratul, something along those lines.
Even if they picked up like a Phoenix with that'd be great. A Jaina Phoenix. You get the slows from Jaina, you get the slows from Deckard. A lot of great setup from the ETC and Dahaka. I think the Purification Salvo gets a lot of value in this situation, but a Jimmy right click and a Sonya really kind of just picking up just some great heroes, but they're still kind of flexing on their support. Alex Strauss is still being available for Pridestark Gaming here, but X-Force, they're going to need to pick up their last two. I personally think it's like a Jaina and a Phoenix, or maybe you go Thrall and Phoenix, so you still combo for that slow.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, and we are going to see the green main leaming, so like I said, a little bit of double burst.
I like it.
Gonna look for some quick slides into a Greymane Li Ming combo, and that can be very dirty. That being said, I really like the pickup of Raynor on Pridestark. Raynor is so good against tanks that struggle to get the jump on him. Someone like Johanna can pop up her Unstoppable, just run at him and ignore the knockback. ETC and Dahaka do not have that privilege. And then we have Sukov, who also is going to provide knockback. I love that pick. The silence is going to be huge for interrupting the combos, as well as the knockback to keep his backline safe.
Yeah, looking at these two teams, they're going to be needing to get in on those members, but between getting through Joanna and Sonya, that's not going to be an easy task. And then you have the AoE silence and some of the CC coming out from Stukov. That's going to be a hard dive. But the thing is, if X-Force can get the resets they need for their Li Ming, this will be big for them. But we'll pull this away. We'll pull our pretty faces off of here. We'll load into this game. And honestly, pulling away the names, pulling away, anything you know about these two teams and players, who do you give it over to, Dunkstick?
Yeah, I'm going to have to give it over to Pridestark. The pickup of Genji is extremely important because it essentially denies X-Force their namesake ability, the X-Strike. And I think without their X-Strike capabilities, they're just not going to be able to pull through.
I'm glad that I can look over and see you doing that. But on the left-hand side, we're going to be having X-Force with Disco going to be on the Dahaka. We'll have Seki going to be on the Greymane. We'll have Nova going to be playing the Deckard Cain. Lizzie going to be on the ETC. And Basa, am I seeing that right? Basa going to be on the Li Ming.
Yeah, and on the right side, we do have Pridestark Gaming. We got Hall Ass on Johanna, Tithel on Sonya, French on Raynor, Skigum on Genji, and Richard Gere on Stukov. Man, they got Richard Gere on their team? How did they afford him?
Isn't he like the Season 4 winner for the Nexus Gaming Series? He won the entire Nexus Gaming Series, I do believe, for Season 4. All of it. He's popped in chat sometimes. He's just like, oh, it's just me. And I'm like, oh my God, is that the Richard Gere?
So it is going to be the pretty standard brawl in the mid lane, all five. Kane throwing out some abilities. French actually taking a full combo from Li Ming. They can have his HP. Thank goodness his passive is he can just kind of use it whenever he wants to. No, his heal, sorry. Sonya going to top lane against the Dahaka, though. Pretty normal.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a fairly normal matchup. Honestly, though, who do you really think wins this out? Is it really just burden of execution, or is it more or less like Sonya kind of beats out Dahaka in the situation overall?
So I think we're going to have to, or at least in the early game, favor the blue team a little bit more. The Greymane and the Li Ming actually provide quite a bit of poke between the cask and her orb and missiles, whereas Pridestark really needs to rely on the auto attack range of Genji and Raynor. So you already see Li Ming poking her abilities. X50 right there. You saw the knockback from the Raynor, gonna interrupt his dash. The silence comes out, not gonna be able to follow up. Genji trying to get the stun's coming in. Boom! ETC is on the floor.
That is going to be the first kill of the game, going over in favor for the members of Pridestark Gaming as they start to chase onto Seki here. Skigum is going to go ahead and get that kill. Going to have the dash out, but they might get killed by Basa. Nope, not going to be happening. They will get the agility out, and they'll be fine. Just run it away with the Cybernetic Ninja.
Yeah, that was excellent play by Skigum. Understanding that they don't have the tank anymore to kind of settle him down, and abusing his high mobility and his moving auto attacks to just kind of whittle down Greymane until he can finish him off.
Now, we will be having the chance for the Dragon Knight here in favor for the members of Pridestark Gaming, as we will have Hollis moving in this lane. Skigum is trying to set up to maybe grab this, but it looks like Lizzle is just going to be pushed back. They're going to try and get the cap onto this. Going to have the body blocks, not going to be able to get there in time. But the thing is, this ETC is going to get whittled down quite a bit in the situation as Nova has joined in to help poke at this Dragon Knight capture.
Yeah, and now with the tank and the healer there, it's going to be a little bit in favor of X-Force. Blue team is pushing them off the bottom now. It is just Stukov and Raynor against the Greymane and Li Ming, so a lot of damage there. They can't really fight it out right now. But full level lead for Pridestark Gaming. And Richard Gere, of course, basically soloing the shrine, making sure that everyone knows he's here.
I gotta say, French with that aggressive positioning. I was waiting for something there, but it's not going to be happening as this team, they just rotate in. They want to sit on this point as Skigam going to be joining in. That is going to be the burrow in from the Dahaka, but the Li Ming will be the first one to fall in the situation as Disco is in a bad spot. Going to pop that Essence, looking to try and get some damage out here as French gets caught in a bad spot, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and get 1-for-1 trade in the situation, hold over bottom in favor for X-Force.
Yeah, and that is the power of the Dahaka right there, instantly creating that 5v4. They did still lose a man, which is in a way not really in their favor because Teethel actually soaking the mid and the top, making sure they maintain that full level lead despite the loss of a kill.
We will be having Disco grabbing this top altar, ETC once again in that mid lane to just make sure that, one, they soak up for those globes at level 1 with the proc rock, as well as just making sure they're just keeping this experience generating. The thing is, as you noted, there is a slow gap that is starting to form, and Pridestark Gaming really is the one to establish that as Hollis has stepped up. Basa may be looking for an angle here as there is potential for the Dragon Knight, and they're going to contest this at this time, start to move in. No one looking for the Dragon Knight just yet, as they will be looking for this kill, Dunkstick.
Yeah, and Hollas running them down. Skigam coming in with his dash to finish them off. Fizzy actually sitting at just over a half. He's going to try and heal up with his E, but if they decide to step him out or he tries to interrupt with a slide, that could be a dead cow following up too. Joanna going to try and solo cap Fizzy though, understandably, just interrupting her. Teethel not going to continue falling down. Now they have the Stukov here trying to help out. The increased range on his wasted Putchul, making sure he can sniff him out, but he is now at full HP. French is soloing the camp down here, though, just trying to get them XP lead. They're not too worried about the Dragon Knight right now.
Now, as we do actually have a little bit of a fight breaking out here between these two in top lane. Ithel in a bad spot, but the tongue drag won't connect, and Disco is actually going to need to use the burrow. If they turned around, they might have been able to take that fight, but that will be Sonya getting the top lane altar held over, this top lane shrine held over, as well as just potentially getting this Dragon Knight for the team. Thing is, though, Fizzy is going to be just moving in that mid lane to deny them any sort of capture onto that, but still, with the bottom lane pressure that they have, they could potentially get this first Dragon Knight in favor for Pridestark Gaming.
Yeah, and now it is a 3v1 up here. Fizzy needs to be careful. That is a Sonya with a Johanna. The knockback goes through. He's thinking about sliding. The Stukov is going to grab it. He actually gets knocked back. Does not get the slide. French tipping him with his Q to interrupt him. Excellent hit. Following up that kill.
First Dragon Knight of the game going over to Pridestark Gaming, 7 to 9, about 8 to 9 in levels, as we are going to be moving into this mid lane, but that is just going to be 10s achieved fairly quickly as they take out these two towers. They look for some more in the bottom lane with the rest of the team sieging in the opposing lane. I really like this. They are still soaking all 3 other lanes with the Dragon Knight in mid, 3 in bottom, Sonya in top, and Dunkstick. This is a strong play for them, especially with the 10 talents that they have.
Yeah, and I would have preferred to see them take that level 10, immediately rotate the Knight with a Hyperion, get this keep, this 4 down here, and then work on keep walls. It looks like, though, they're going to take a lot of damage. Skigam actually taking a ton of damage from the tower. The Banshee just being annoying, poking out at everyone. Stukov will get the mid fort, though, giving them a little bit more of an XP lead.
Yeah, and this will be the Dragon Knight confirming the fort in mid, as apparently Twitch chat is saying that Richard Gere is carrying. But I mean, he's in the Dragon Knight, so how do you blame him? We will be having this pressure, though, into the bottom lane. The one thing I do want to note is one of the early things they did in this push is they took out the well, and that's something that I always want to talk about in these matches, because if you can take out the well, the sustain for these lanes is really, really pushed back and denied, as we actually have a dive going out. The X-Strike going to be going to Boss, and they will be getting that kill, Dunkstick.
X-Strike the X-Force. So I'm talking about. I told you, man, he has their crutch. He took their signature ability, used it against them. What precision, finesse, mata.
This top 10 anime betrayals right there, as we will be having the Bruiser camp picked up on the left-hand side. That'll be pushing up into the top lane, as Tithel is going to be trying to push in Disco at this time, or at least just making sure they're continuing to soak up. And the level disparity has grown, Dunkstick, to about 2.5 levels here. And they're going to be looking at 13s very soon. They'll be looking for just a couple picks in this, couple minion waves, and then they could maybe look for a pick in these rotations before the next Dragon Knight pops up here, and I want to say a solid minute.
Yeah, and this is where I talked about how X-Force doesn't really have any ability to really jump on the backline of Pridestark Gaming. basically utilizing the range on Genji and Raynor to whittle down people. If ETC dives forward, he dies. It's 2 deaths already. He cannot garner an advantage. Genji actually diving in, not realizing they're there. Mike gets slid, has the dash. Actually, he's just going to go ahead and keep holding the point. There's the X-Strike. It does go in their favor. The stand on listen used only gets him. Li Ming falling very low. They're all stuck behind the Raynor and the Johanna. Decker can't get a fall. Genji actually falls in the background to the Greymane. Greymane, though, is stuck here. The Siege Camp trying to do damage. He does get the stealth. He's going to get revealed by Richard Gere. Here he goes. Fizzy now just walking away. Not going to be able to save his team anything. Actually, the Banshee interrupting him. Does Tythel sniff this out? Does he come down and pick up on the ETC? Nope. They're going to go ahead and walk away. Take the enemy Siege Camp.
I gotta say, Dunk, that play was absolutely what they needed on the side of Pridestark Gaming to really just pressure into them even harder. They did lose their Genji, but they ended up taking a great fight there, as Tythel is going to go ahead and just 2v1 casually in top lane and get a kill onto the ETC, as they have pressured in bottom lane with the Siege Camp here. They'll be going ahead and having Richard Gere on this point. We'll have Tythel in the top lane, and I wouldn't be too surprised as a second Dragon Knight coming out in favor for Pridestark Gaming.
Yeah, and Genji, probably the second best person to put in it, has fairly weak siege himself outside of his auto attack and the shuriken, so able to just go ahead and use the Dragon Knight. Is very safe coming out of it should they take it down with him in a bad spot. But they are just going to go ahead and push up here. Richard Gere using the silence, trying to keep him off, going to get knocked back out of it. The scroll of ceiling not quite hitting anybody. All fully topped off, and this is the power of the Stukov. Just does so much AoE healing. The Dragon Knight just punts the Li Ming.
They want to go in for more. It looks like, though, they're just gonna keep going for this. But there's gonna be a sleep coming out onto one of the members. The kick onto the old man, saying, "Stop reading to us now." Richard Gere gonna go ahead and get the flailing swipe, kind of slowing this fight down a little bit in this situation. But Tythel gonna be going in here, Dunk.
Yeah, and Genji is about to come out of this. He knocks everyone back. Fitzy is actually extremely low, gonna get dived. The X-Strike coming out, finishes him off, protected to prevent that burst follow-up coming back at him. They still have a minion. Half the keep is down. Skigum is actually tanking, gonna have to go ahead and back off. The bouncing heal coming back to him. Haul Ass actually just took a ton of damage from Li Ming. Got him just unstoppable. They're gonna walk away. It's 16-12. Mid keep is down, and the lanes are pushed in favor of Pridestark Gaming.
You talked about the last push where they needed to, you were saying, oh, they should have maybe focused the Dragon Knight, focused the push in mid. And maybe they're watching stream, maybe they heard you, or just the Cosmos as a line. They're just like, you know what, second Dragon Knight, we're going to make up for Dunk, and we're going to go ahead and take that mid lane keep. And they do that. And that's a really great aspect to have. Consistent catapult pressure in any lane is a great tool for a team here. Now you can kind of have that kind of time bomb consistently in that lane as they want to push into this bottom. They've got some great siege. They've got a minion wave. Nothing else really on top of that. This could be a bit of an overextension as Fizzy is going to be stepping out, maybe even a little too early, as Disco going to be going for a grab here, and it looks like the isolation will go out onto one. The burrow will be there. The Moss Bridge is going to be onto one. It's going to be interrupted. What? ETC, how are you still alive? Stay a while and listen goes out, but yeah, Dunk, somehow ETC lived.
Man, the health bars of X-Force so low. The healing from Deckard Cain coming out at just the right moment to keep him alive. That was just absolutely incredible. Good job on him to keep his team up. Unfortunately, though, the side of Pridestark is still very healthy. Just keep pushing down. It is still 17-13, a full talent tier up. 16 tier is absolutely ginormous for the Raynor, for the Sonya, for the Genji. So really big tier for them damage-wise. And unfortunately, when you have that triple threat kind of comp, you hit 16 first, it becomes very hard for the enemy opposing team to follow up.
I mean, you can look at the minimap. The members of X-Force haven't really gone beyond their mid lane. I mean, even that, they haven't even really gone beyond their forts. Like, this is the Dahaka stepping out here is pretty much as far as they've really gone in the last 2 minutes. And that's not that's not me trying to be BM or anything like that. That's just pointing out that they've turtled up. They're letting the lanes come to them. They really want to play this slow because they don't have that talent tier, as you noted. Dahaka, though, going to be going for this flank burrow. Richard Gere needs to look out for this as they're just going to be sitting on the point. Skygum. Oh, I'm gonna mess it up either way.
It's Skigum.
Skigum. Because we had so many conversations about this before we got started. But they're gonna be just fine getting some poke damage out, and realistically, that burrow coming out from Dahaka not yielding them much, if anything, on the side of X-Force.
Yeah, and they're just trying to create pressure. They want to try and take that bottom one back. In my opinion, they just really need to focus on their soak. Dahaka really needs to help get this experience back under control. Tythel, though, going for the cap up here top. Disco actually making the decision to try and 1v1 the Sonya. The Sonya instantly melting Disco to half HP. Gonna go ahead and start soloing out while the bottom lane is just being pushed in. Solo Sonya forcing him to use his essence while also keeping him at half HP. Tythel just hunting him down now.
We're currently going to have the slow going out onto Hollis. They're trying, excuse me, beyond Hollis. They're just trying to get out of here. I was like, how did Stukov get on the other team all of a sudden? But that is going to be a Dragonite. Third one of the game going to be picked up. That is also 3 catapults in mid. They could look to end through mid, but I think they want to go for bottom lane catapult pressure as the Dragonite has made a rotation and the team is prepping for this push and this fight.
Yeah, the best answer is always create pressure in the opposite lane. Let those catapults keep walking forward while they focus on you, and then when you're finally making that final push, you can really melt down the core.
Currently have 2 keeps down. We have some roots going out from Decker K not connecting here, and they might be looking for the pressure onto this core, at least maybe a top lane keep, as they are kind of waning between these lanes, 15 to 18. This is when they got to make a play on the side of Pridestark Gaming if they really want to get the kills, and before X-Strike is used, ETC goes down. The Dragonite is rotated onto the camp. The shields are starting to fall at this time, getting chunked. The Dragonite also sitting at 81% on the health, 30-some seconds on that, and it looks like this is going to be game number 1 going over in favor for the members of Pridestark Gaming.
Yeah, really good look from Pridestark into their draft and their style of play.
Let's go ahead and get into this game.
I made that like last second. Like I literally clicked join game. Infernal Shrines.
What's funny is you're spectator and I'm referee, so I was just like, okay. It doesn't really change anything, honestly. We're not doing anything special with who's locking to who. But we got everything going. I'm looking over at my other monitor to make sure that everything is all set up, and yeah, we are all set here for this matchup as we have a drop and we also get a stripping dunk stick on our stream. I love that you have the exact same shirt on as me.
Yeah, man. It's like being on the same team, dude. Gotta match your avatars.
But the thing is, you haven't seen me since basically we started stream because you never saw my camera, which just makes it so interesting because, yeah. All right, well, how did you know? That's all I gotta know. Team 2, my mistake. I messed up on the first pick, first ban order. Yeah.
So I mean, it got me in. You can make me referee now. Yeah. Oh,
yep. Nice. I got that. Okay, so teams are. We're gonna get another ready from the team. Just damn it, Bob. All right, cool. Team 2 is going to have first pick, first ban because they had Matt pick first in game 1. We got a ready from one team. Let's get a ready from the other, and then we will get ourselves going here into game number 2. Just all of the production things, just NA production in general. Team 2?
What's wrong with NA? What are you trying to say, Bomb?
Just we have the best production.
Thank you. There you go. Correct.
I mean, it's the honest truth. Okay. Going. All right, cool. Let's get ourselves going here. Game number 2. We are going to be heading to
Infernal Shrines.
I didn't do it quick enough. Infernal Shrines, or I did it late enough. Who knows? But we're gonna go ahead. This is. It's always a blast casting with you. I'm having such a good time. But while we load into this really quickly, on the left-hand side to catch you up, X-Force will be there. On the right, we have Pridestark Gaming up 1 game. The map bans went as follows. The coin flip was won by Pridestark. They banned out Towers of Doom. Tomb and Spider Queen was banned out by X-Force. Pridestark took map pick, so X-Force chose map number 2, which is Infernal Shrines. Game number 1 was Dragonshire, chosen by Pridestark. Let's get into this draft. And also, Punk Murdoch, thank you for the compliment. They are loving our casting.
Hey man, are they banning Asmodan because you're casting and they don't want to give you the gratification of him being a good hero now?
I think it's honestly just been one of those things where everyone knows that I love Asmodan and I just don't get to cast him anymore. They're just like, his rework's not that good, but you know, we just don't want our caster to have a good time as we actually get a Kerrigan ban coming out.
That's my hero. Why would you ban the best hero?
So no, we are, as casters, we're getting targeted by Pridestark Gaming, so GG, well played. We've got the respective Heroic Division game. Or Heroic Division.
Man, I'm supposed to be completely biased, but now I have to root for X-Force.
You banned my hero. But no, I mean, Kerrigan, if you're wondering, like, why Kerrigan, this is this is a map where you can definitely pull out a Kerrigan, and it can work pretty well too. So I actually really like that Pridestark will be taking that off the table, not to really get cheesed in a sense by that, but double solo laner is going to be banned out by the members of X-Force. They don't want to deal with the Blaze or the Urel. With the way that this has been opened up, do you just first pick the Genji again, Dunkstick?
No, we're going to see the Diablo, and that makes a lot of sense. This map is filled with narrow holidays and clutch points for just dashing in and just dominating somebody, which is what Diablo should be doing all the time. He is a very aggressive hero that excels at bodying the enemy players.
Do you think...
Wow.
Ooh. That's a quick Maiev and a Stukov, actually. But do you think we're going to get the synergies that we often see? Do we think we just get like a Deckard Phoenix here? We're going to be looking for that Lightning Breath. You get the slow from the Deckard. You then just get the blow up from the Salvo?
It's a possibility. I know it's been really popular going with like the Deckard combo. It's a Deckard Diablo with a lore NATO to keep you inside the Lightning Breath on top of his regular combo. But we actually get to see White Mane and Genji. My first White Mane casting, actually.
To be honest,
I've yet to see her in competitive.
I've casted her, I think, a single game. She's been banned out in the majority of other ones. So I think I got to cast her once or twice during the first week she was available, because I think, honest to God, I think teams forgot she existed. Because I think someone picked her, and then like in chat I could see like, oh yeah, White Mane. Like no one thought to ban or pick her. So I'm really excited to be seeing this White Mane because she is so incredibly strong. But this is going to be the Sonya ban for that solo lane, and the Sonya that we saw in that last game. I mean, even Twitch chat was having a good time just cheering for Sonya, like 1v2ing at points.
Yeah, the age-old saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but whips and chains excite me.
I took a sip of water, man. I had to hold that. I was just like, please no, please not on stream.
Yes, I was gonna talk about this. This is one of the best Cho'Gall maps, and right now showing White Mane, Diablo, and Genji. They don't have that Tychus or Nubrak pick just yet, and they could, but overall it weakens their comp. They're gonna see the Lord, who is a decent pick, and we're gonna see the Rainer.
So it honestly seems like they're really not worried about this. They're just like, our draft was going to be, maybe they changed up their solo laner in this situation, but it seems like that didn't really change much of their draft. They didn't really need to adjust. They didn't, go for that Tychus right away. They're just like, all right, well, we're going to pick a Rainer, we're going to pick a Leoric, and I think we can play into this. This is pretty strong, but what do you get for this last pick? Do you solo lane with this, or do you go for some clear?
I don't know if you've seen it yet, but the Warden's Cage with the upheaval is one of my new favorite wombo combos.
Oh my god, I'm now picturing it in my head how obnoxious.
So how obnoxious Upheaval always has been is that it pulls people a little too far sometimes. Yep. Mm-hmm. Warden's Cage solves that problem entirely.
It's like a backboard in a sense.
Yeah, and you put people in the circle of doom, and it just wrecks teams. And you gotta remember, we didn't have a team last game that can deal with the Rainer knockback and everything. Diablo wants to go in. He doesn't want to sit back. Leoric is almost always on top of the Cho'Gall. Genji, a little harder to deal with, but still dealable with. He doesn't do quite enough damage because he doesn't really do any percentage damage to Cho. And then White Mane doesn't really do that much damage, but that is how she heals. So she does add to that
healing, though. It can be so broken. Let's find out how broken it will be. We get into game number 2 here. X-Force down a game trying to even the series out. Let's see if they can do it, as Disco is going to be on the Maltheo. We'll be having Nova on the Stukov. We're going to have Basa Basa on the Maiev, and we'll have Eki on the Cho'Gall. There's going to be, I think, Izzy and Seki going to be on that Cho'Gall.
Yeah, and on the right side, we do have Pridestark Gaming once again. Haul-ass on the Diablo, Tythel on Leoric, Skigam on the Genji, Richard Gere, the one and only on White Mane, and believe it or not, it's French on Rainer.
Just out of curiosity, if you lock to my camera, can you see me do the rotations, or does that not show for you?
I'd have to remember how to lock on the camera because I like to follow my own stuff.
Or O or C. Let me know when you're locked on. I'm just curious.
Are you doing like little rotations right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that then.
Do you see this?
Oh wow, that's total. What did you do to do that? I've never done that.
It's a little line of code you can add to your hotkeys, apparently, and it is mucho gusto. I know it works for Aliobs specifically as an observer, but I don't know if it works on the main actual like viewing thing. I have to test that out later. But either way, I was fiddling around with it and I was like, yes, I want to use this forever. But either way, let's go ahead and get into this matchup, as we are going to be having really quickly peeking to the top lane. We'll have Title going into Disco, and this is going to be an interesting matchup. Just two soul suckers in a sense are going to be in the solo lane.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to have to give it in favor of the York. He is a little tankier than the Malthael, and you can see it. He's not losing as much damage as much health as the Malthael does. And Tythel will get his healing talents earlier than Malthael will. It looks like we are going to see camps traded, though. Cho'Gall and Maya are going to work on the bottom camp, while Pridestark is working on the side camp. And Skigum trying to sniff them out. I don't think they're reading this. I guess they're not seeing Cho'Gall throw balls towards the bottom lane.
Yeah, and you noted this during the draft that there are 5 camps on this map, and they are utilizing every single one of them at this time. We're going to be seeing the bottom picked up, the left and the right, and then I wouldn't be too surprised to see right around that 230-ish mark to see teams, or at least one member, rotate off and grab the bruiser camps on the right and left-hand side, because this is going to be the first Punisher phase in the bottom lane, and this is your opportune time to feed that Shaman camp in the top. And we talked about this also in draft, about how much value you can get into that top lane with a free push from a Shaman camp. But we're going to have rotations just going to be coming out. No big kills just yet, and it's just going to be the soaking for experience and the gaining of some questing talents, as it looks like actually only Cho'Gall, or I guess the Cho is really only stacking up some questing, as well as Diablo baseline sitting at 29 souls out of the 100 needed for the resurrection.
Yeah, and that is to be expected. Cho'Gall needs to scale. They do not want to fight right now. Some poke is okay, but for right now, they really just want to focus on clearing these waves. He is rotating for Fuel the Flame, which means he's getting a ton of extra healing percentage for his W, which is going to be a big deal later on. Malthael actually outplaying Tythel up here, doing a really good job of keeping his health up. So doing a really good job against the York right now. It looks like we are going to see the top camps taken out for both sides at the same time. In professional play, we do see teams hold on their camp up here. Wait till the enemy team camps theirs, kill theirs, then cap, enabling them to control the lane. So we're not going to see that this time.
That is such a great play. I love it when teams do that, but we actually have Hollis starting out this Arcane Punisher in this bottom lane here, pulling the majority of the Skeletal Defenders. Not going to have the quickest clear, and I apologize for that, but Malthael going to be caught out in the rotation but into mid lane, and that is a great pickup in favor for the members of Pridestark Gaming, as they're looking at the Cho'Gall at this time, at least poking in on them, and they're going to be also looking to quest up a few more of those runic bombs. But overall, I think this is going to be held over by Pridestark Gaming. We are also seeing a small level lead starting to form between these two teams. We're going to have to see how they're able to make sure that they mitigate that as quickly as possible inside of X-Force.
Yeah, and unfortunately, without the Malthael pressure, they're not going to be able to take this bottom shrine. It is already 30 to 15. Rotating someone up to the top lane to clear and push that wave would be ideal. Leaving the other 3 to clear. Malthael is going to go ahead and clear mid, then probably bounce back top.
Yeah, we do actually have the solo laners going out and doing exactly that, making sure that they're soaking up. But this should be 7th achieved first in favor for the members of Pridestark Gaming, as they will be getting these towers down. Genji actually needs to get this wall taken out to help them, but the opposing team is a little more focused on burning down this Punisher before it gets too much value. Genji just turning and saying, all right, you got the side wall out, let's take out this well, let's make sure the lane sustain is gone, and let's push it a little bit further, as Cho'Gall is going to get jumped in on Hollis a little far away. They are going to get pulled in by the Umbral Bind here, as the Punisher has fallen at this time. Skigum is going to be needing to get out of here, going to have that agility out. We have the dash out from Cho'Gall, but they're going to back right out of there, trying to get a couple more of these runic stacks up, but it won't be more, as they're only just sitting on 8 at this time.
Yeah, and like I said, they want to scale up. They want to get as much experience. They want to just keep hitting that bomb. Once they hit 20 and get the increased speed and range, it becomes significantly easier to stack that talent, and it is uncapped.
Oh, but
and we are going to see the fight down bottom.
Oh my god.
Skigum actually going to fall down first. Diablo going to fall second. The Silence Pool doing so much work to keep those two under control. Genji dove in and could not get away with his high mobility.
And actually, that is, you noted it, that silence from Nova was huge for them, denying them so much those 2 kills. Yet they're still early, but it's going to net them over 1,000 experience, and that's what they needed to even up this game in that experience department to make sure that they don't fall behind, because I want to say that was the big falter, or the big issue with game number 1, is they fell behind in this 8 area in experience, and they never were able to catch up, and that gap continued to grow against X-Force. So realistically here, making sure that they're just going ahead and continuing to soak it, then getting a couple of these picks here and there are great for them. We're just going to have to see how they're able to continue that throughout this game, as once again, the experience is starting to fall a little bit in favor for Pridestark Gaming.
Yeah, and a little side note, every time you say Nova, I get really confused and look around for a Nova. It throws me off.
That's why she gets paid the big bucks. I hate myself for knowing that that's her line, like every time she gets a kill. But we will be having rotations once again as teams are looking for 10s.
Yeah, and Chukal once again just trying to stack up that level 1 talent, trying to make sure he has as great a healing from his consumable as possible. Skigum actually going to interrupt the rotations. It is pretty much even, though Malthael going to go ahead and get caught out, though. The slide from Skigum going to go ahead and help finish him off. Richard Gere controlling him with his Inquisition. No one ever expects the Inquisition, man.
No one ever really expected. Actually, fun little fact, with the Inquisition at level 1, did you know that when she's healing a friendly team member, she laughs different than when she's dealing damage to an enemy, like an enemy hero? Like, she has like a joyous laugh when she heals a friendly teammate, but when she's doing damage, like it's just like prideful that she's doing damage. Either way, if you haven't noticed that and you're in Twitch chat, just go ahead and just take that talent in like AI or training really quick, just to like hear her do that, because it's honestly, it's a little like quality of life. It's just like, I don't know, it makes the character a little bit more developed. I don't know how to describe it, as we will be getting a Mortar Punisher popping up in this mid lane dunk stick.
Yeah, and like I said, it is the Upheaval and the Warden's Cage. Yep. Tormented Souls 2 with the Maya, the Malthael. So we are going to look to see them try and wombo combo this. X-Force going for that big wombo. But we do see the Scarlet Aegis out of white main, so be on the lookout for that to interrupt it. Tythel actually doing a ton of damage to the Cho'Gall. Drain Hope is absolutely monstrous. The Upheaval comes in and hits 2 targets. The wall comes down. Not going to be able to grab them all. Gonna get stunned out of it. The Apox doing work. Stukov is gonna fall in the background. Malthael doing his best to finish people off. Cho'Gall trying to escape. Actually narrowly escapes. Malthael going very low. Gonna fall. Tythel taking a ton of damage from the Maiev. Gonna go ahead and live. Maiev unfortunately not able to finish that. 1 for 2. Unfortunately, they were not able to capitalize on it with their wombo.
Everybody hit their R, but oh my god, Tythel's so low here, needs to get out before they really try and get this pick. Now granted, they are going to be stepping up in a little bit of a risky spot. Cho'Gall in a bad spot. They do drop the bomb. Not going to be enough, and that is not, I'm sorry, but that's not worth here. Stepping up like that, they could have just, that was going over for Pridestark. They should have just gone behind the gate, waited for their teams to come back, but now they stagger to death. They're going to need to kind of adjust and soak across their lanes, and this is what I was talking about with a level gap forming. We're looking at a level between these two, but the thing is 13s are basically a couple towers away, so we're now going to get a talent tier advantage, as well as this Punisher in the mid lane. Cho'Gall is back and available. We do have the upheaval. But I don't know, with every R being hit in that, every R button being hit in that last fight, I think Pridestark Gaming, they still have a stronger fight in this situation, even with that combo pulling everyone apart.
And unfortunately, Cho'Gall has not been able to finish their 4 quests yet. Still trying to get it out there. It's very important for their damage. Once they get super stacked on it, they just start melting the backline. I don't care how much healing White Mane does when every single one of your teammates is taking 1,000 damage per bomb and it resets on a lower cooldown. It is absolutely disastrous for your team.
I think you and I played at Cho'Gall once, and you drove the bus, and you were just like, use your abilities, just use your abilities. And I think I got like around like over 80 stacks at one point, and we were just bodying people with orbs, and just then we would take every single team fight. So on that note, exactly, like stacking up that level 4 questing talent is part of the biggest part of Gall's kit at this time, and then you have that 16 silence, like, and then you have that burst damage as well. Like French taking a lot already just from that one orb. We'll see as this
and they're
stacks out.
2 stacks away now.
I think they're going to start getting a lot more momentum here. They're going to start feeling a lot more comfortable on the Cho'Gall. As I say that, I'm going to eat my words. They don't get a single hit with that. But we currently have this bottom lane being pressured in, as we do also have Leoric in the top lane pressuring that out. But this looks like they want the fort in bottom, and they want to make sure they prep this for the next Punisher, which will be in this bottom lane.
Yeah, and we got to remember 13 is going to be a major talent here. I believe Malthael gets the increased heal on his ability. Especially since he's taking all the types of talents. Tythel just poking in, doing a bunch of damage to the Cho'Gall. Still 12 to 14. They really want to get on the same talent tier and pick the fight. They absolutely need it. They want to find their entry back into. We talked about already. They have the Wombo combo. They just need to execute it.
And that's the big thing. Like I've casted, across the board so far for the Nexus Gaming series. I have seen the Deckard Thrall, Phoenix, Diablo combos, those big wombos where it's all the slows and Phoenix just blows everyone up with all this. And, you have Lightning Breath come out and then Earthquake comes out after that. And then Purification Salvo is out of range of Earthquake. So it is burden of execution at this point and making sure that you can upheaval people, but is there going to be the Warden's Cage? Is it going to be denied by the Entomb like we saw last time from Leoric? The members of Pridestark, I think they kind of have their number on this wombo and they're just not really too worried about it in the situation. We'll have to see how it works out.
I can give any Cho'Gall team a tip. If the ball won't hit a champion because they read it and they're not going to get hit, make sure to hit as many targets as you can with it. With the 13 talent, you want to reset it. Basically, give yourself another try. You always want to have it off cooldown because once you get to the point where you're at like 50 plus stacks and you're just melting the enemy team, you want that bad boy off cooldown ASAP 24/7.
Oh, the Gatling gun runic bomb is terrifying, especially with a silence too. No, thank you. I don't want to deal with that. But as we noted, level gap has formed. 2 levels between the two. It's talent tier 16 to 14. This is going to be a Punisher available in the next couple seconds here. We'll figure out which kind. I think it should be a Frozen if it rotates. It is going to be a Frozen here as Hollis and Skigum are going to be just kind of zoning this away, and they'll start burning down these Skeletal Defenders. Now, granted, they're going to need to respond to that Shaman Camp and top lane eventually.
Yeah, and like we said, this is how you need to learn how to play the map. You need to get really comfortable at playing that slow kind of poke in and maybe push them off a little bit. Try to get as much value you can. The upheaval coming in, the wall coming in. Richard Gere is actually stuck in the corner, but the damage reduction from the Leoric doing work. Leoric actually going to fall as well. Disco doing his best to stay alive. Maiev doing her best to stay alive. Skigum actually going to go ahead, start resetting his Swift Strike. Not going to get the Quill right away onto the Malthael. Actually kind of run away. The Cho'Gall dying ever so slowly. Frenchie working on him. Skigum slipping away.
Did you see Skigum sitting in this bush over here, and then just the runic bomb coming right where that tree is next to Diablo, and it almost hit Skigum. If it went a little bit further, I think it would have actually confirmed the kill there, but it won't be happening as they sit with 39 skeletal defenders. Granted, this does give time for the members of X-Force to come back alive and get ready to prepare for the big defense, but at the same time, this allows Pridestark Gaming to get their lanes in control to actually put some pressure on, and it's going to force X-Force around this map a little bit differently, and they're going to have to adjust themselves for this next Punisher, as it will be barreling down bottom lane with the camp. They'll have pressure in mid. Top lane's been cleared out. This is starting to look a little hairy for X-Force, but they're only half a level away from 16 Dunkstick.
Yeah, and I think a little bit overstepping how badly he needs the Unstoppable from Malthael. I think the extra % healing would have had a much greater impact for him, enabling him to kind of stay in these fights a little bit longer. Maiev swiftly pulling over the John Cena. They're trying to get down these towers to get in there. It is still only a 14-minute Punisher, so its health pool is rather low. But they don't really have that burn potential, and Malthael just trying to peek over. Leoric gonna go ahead and walk in, reduce the damage. The Entomb coming in, the X-Strike to follow up. Everyone taking a ton of damage. The Warden's Cage coming out. Everyone's stuck in it. He pulls them over, still in it. The big bomb hitting so many targets. He's still gonna fall though. No kills coming out for the side of X-Force. That is a 5-0, a team wipe. Everyone up. They're gonna go ahead and look at core.
Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't be too surprised looking at the core. They have wiped the enemy team. They've got a nice minion wave behind them. They're starting to chunk down the shield very quickly. And this is going to be exactly that. Pridestark Gaming are going to be going ahead and taking game number 2 in the series, 2-0, and they'll move up in the bracket a little bit further with these 2 points. GG. Well played.
Yes, GG to Pridestark. Unfortunately, the Cho'Gall team not